All right, welcome back to another episode of All American Hoops. I believe this is episode 116. Usually on top of this. I'm almost positive it's 116 though. As per usual, joining me is my younger brother Matt Driscoll.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. I feel like we haven't done just a pod with me and you in a minute. I don't know when the last one was, but
Has been a minute, yeah,
it's good to be here. Excited to talk hoops.
for sure. Speaking of being a while, I believe today. I don't know if you realize this, but I believe today was the first time we've seen each other in a week. I don't know if you
Yeah,
realize that.
yeah.
Yeah, Matt was away this weekend on a ski trip. And then I left early Monday morning to go on a class trip to Atlantic City to chaperone a trip. It was for those of you that travel for work and like are able to go to these cool places, I'm really jealous of you because um even though even though like those that usually travel for work do like are like a little more busy than I was, but it was one of the better experiences that I've had because I was able to just like drop off my kids in their rooms, go to a couple of events with them, and then like late at night it was we kind of just had the night to ourselves, so it was quite the experience for sure.
Were you guys
um
allowed to gamble at all?
we were
Nice.
yeah, it was like totally free time. Only thing is they requested that we don't wear any of our school gear while we were doing that.
That's
We were
pretty
doing that.
cool.
We did happy hour both those nights too, so that was a great time as well. But yeah, they said because like they also gave us these IDs, like that you wear at a conference. It said like, "Oh, Chris Driscoll, Monroe Township High School." They said, "Yeah, don't wear that when you're out having a beer with your colleagues because that wouldn't be the best look on us." But um, so anyway, before we get started, we have some pretty fun birthdays today. So on the NBA side, we have Jeremy Grants. We have I don't know who this other guy is. Grant's his first name is Grants. His last name starts with an L. Yeah, I couldn't pronounce that. But also to Celtics legend Carson Edwards.
Oh, wow.
His name was bolded on Basketball Reference. Like I didn't think that he was still playing. I don't.
I think he's
Maybe
overseas the last time I checked, but maybe he's back in the G
maybe
League or
he's
something.
overseas. Probably. I don't know why he was bolded because no, he hasn't played since 2022.
Yeah,
So
he's in the European League.
he's in the European League. Okay, I guess that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, Matt, like, I can't believe, yeah, like I was shocked to see this. Happy birthday to Scotty Lewis, New
Oh,
Jersey legend, Jersey Shore legend, more specifically. I don't know. Do you know where he was from? I don't remember where he was from.
he played at Ranny High School.
Yeah, I knew that, but yeah, like I don't know where his actual hometown was. Like,
Let me look that up because I know it was around us.
yeah, I thought so.
Hazlet, New Jersey.
Oh, it was Hazlitt. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Hazlitt for sure. But um, but yeah, he was drafted by the Hornets. He only has a couple. Yeah, he only played like one or two games in the NBA, but still, like when I saw him, like, oh, I know that name. So yeah, that was very cool. On the the MLB side, we have Nick Kurtz, the first baseman for the Oakland Athletics. Not Oakland anymore, but for the Athletics. We have former Mets Luis Anel Acuna, and to former Mets and also World Series champion. Don't know whether he's a Mets Hall of Famer or not. I think he is. Darryl Strawberry. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was the home run king up until Peter Alonso broke it. But yeah, the best right fielder of all time for the Mets and World Series champion. NFL, I looked it up. I really couldn't find anyone. But once I dug up a little bit more, however you say his first name, Dante Hightower. He was the linebacker on the Patriots for like their dynasty in the late 2010s. So yeah, I wouldn't say like loaded because there's only I guess I don't think there's any Hall of Famers here, but still quite like I was very pleased with the list today because it was a lot of name polls. It's not like it was a because yeah, I feel like it's usually one. I feel like it's usually all or nothing. Like you got like Hall of Famers or nobodies. These players are nobodies, but so it's pretty cool to see for sure. Um so so I mentioned earlier in the show that I was in Atlantic City this weekend. So and I say that because obviously Monday night's history was made. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points against the Washington Wizards, which broke Kobe Bryant's record for the most for the most points scored in a game in the modern era, the most points ever since Wilt Chamberlain. when he scored 100 in 1962. Um, and yeah, history is made for sure. And I feel like this is going to be one of those moments where people are going to say, where were you when Bam scored 83 points for sure? I'm going to remember, as I said, I was in Atlantic City. So funny enough, I was actually in um yeah, so I was like up in my room, like just like trying. I was like getting some schoolwork done, just like looking at it, and then I was like, oh wait, the Celtics are on NBC. So yes, so, like I'm like, oh, it's NBC. Like yeah, every hotel is gonna have NBC on. Why wouldn't they? So then yeah, I turn on the TV. They don't have NBC. I couldn't believe it. Like they have like it's not like they had like two channels where it's like just CBS and Fox or like just like channel 1,000. Like a lot of the hotels have, but like no, they had like 100 channels. They had FS1, they had ESPN, they had the baseball. I don't know if they had the baseball network actually, but like they had like a good amount of channels. Yeah, they had the Big Bang Theory playing for crying out loud. So yeah, but no NBC, which I couldn't believe. But then when I had to go down, I had to go downstairs to check something out. So and then the Celtics were playing. But then later, yeah. So yeah, but then later I went back up to hang out with some of my other teacher friends, and like and like then I realized, oh wait, the Celtics were playing on Peacock, so I could have just been watching on my phone the entire time. So yeah, so I was like watching that like while also paying attention to what was going on, and then my phone starts blowing up with oh Bam's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. I'm like oh wow, like I'm pretty impressive, and then like it actually ended up happening. So it's definitely gonna be a moment where I remember for sure. And yeah, because it's kind of similar to when it's not this at all because like it's that these are the moment I'm going to say is stable to my memory forever. When Johan Sanson had the no hitter, like, we have the best story ever as to what happened. Like we were in the Newark airport. It was like an amazing story. Like this doesn't quite touch that, but at the very least, it is a moment where I'm going to remember where I was. Matt, you were somewhere else during this while this was happening, and you weren't aware of it at all. Want to say what it was?
Yeah, so I was at the movies on Tuesday night, and I like checked, like I looked just like to see what the time was during the movie because it's like a 2 hour 20 minute movie. I don't see how much time was left, and I saw I had like 100 texts. I was like, all right, it's probably just like I'm in a group chat with a couple of my buddies that are Ranger fans, and they blow up my phone every Ranger game. And then the Celtics were playing too, so I knew you guys were texting about it. I didn't know what it was because Jaylen Brown got ejected. That's why
That's right.
the my phone was buzzing, and then I like put my phone away and I watched the rest of the movie. It was like an hour and a half left. I come out and I had 500 texts about the USA baseball team was down 8-0. Jaylen Brown got ejected. The Rangers were losing, and Bam Adebayo had 83 points. I had a bunch of different group chats texting about it, and I was like, 83 points. And I thought originally the first group chat I checked was our fantasy basketball one, so I thought he had 83 fantasy points at first. And I was like, oh, it's a pretty good game. But then I realized it was 83 real points. So I didn't watch it, unfortunately, but I will remember where I was when it happened. Crazy game, one of the craziest stat lines I've ever seen in my life. But I mean, I think I remember a couple years ago, Dame I think had the first 70 piece, then Donovan Mitchell like a week later had 71. And then the night that Kevin Durant had like it was either high 50s or early 60s, and Embiid had 70. So sometimes when somebody scores a lot of points, it kind of comes in bunches. So I wonder if somebody's going to have like a crazy, ridiculous 60 or 70 point game within the next couple of games.
Mm. Yep. Yeah. I'd be interested to see that too. Yeah, because yeah, you also forgot to mention that Luca had like a 60, 20, and 20 game as well. Or like during that span too. So, um, I don't know. So, yeah, I would be interested to see. Yeah, since yeah, I was going to bring this up after the segment, but yeah, since you brought it up now, I would be interested to see who would be the person to do it. So, if it were to happen this year, I guess my answer would probably be Luca. He's the points leader now. And obviously, yeah, he's kind of carried more of a burden this year with LeBron missing some time and with Reeves kind of taking his foot off the gas pedal from the beginning of the year. I guess kind of the injury has kind of nagged him a little bit. So Luca's yeah, like obviously Luca isn't who he once was in 2020, 2023, 2024. And I'm not saying that he can't get back to what that was because he's so young, but and I'm so yeah, and like I'm someone who has critiqued him more than anyone. Like yeah, like I'm usually pretty shy to use the word hater, but like when it comes to like Joel Embiid and Luca, I'm like no, I definitely consider myself a hater for them. Like I don't really like the way they play, and that's for Luca. But like with that being said, he's an absolute bucket. So if you were to ask me if there's anyone that could break Bam's either break Bam's record, I don't think anyone's going to break Bam's record anytime soon. But if you were to ask me anyone, I'd probably say Luca. There's a couple others that come to mind, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know who you would have. Who you would have that come to mind?
If we're talking about just like current players, like I mean, that could be some like first grader from like New York or from like Lithuania that's going to come in
Right.
that
Yeah.
will eventually break the record. But I mean, Luca, like you said, is a good one. Maybe somebody like I'm trying to look here. Like I feel like Devin Booker always has these crazy scoring games.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna think Giannis. I know he's been hurt, and you know, I feel like he's kind of never talked about as one of the better scorers in the game because
No.
of it's not really like jump shots, it's a lot of dunks and free throws.
Mm.
But he could have a game where he takes a lot of free throws, and like I don't know if it was I think it was game 6 of the 2022 finals, or sorry, 2021 finals. He shot 17 of 18 from the line,
That's
and he
right.
had
Yeah.
50 points. So I mean, maybe he has a game like that, and he runs up the score a little bit, and he gets up there.
Absolutely. So and like everyone's and like I said this in like multiple group chats and everyone said it like I don't know like hang on. So I'm going to list all these players for you and I want you to stop me when I list a player that would have been more that would have shocked you more had they scored 83 points, okay?
Hmm.
All right. So Luca, Shea, Ant, Maxi, Jokic, Jalen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Jamal Murray, Cade Cunningham, Devin Booker, James Harden, Denny Avdija, MPJ, Victor Wembanyama, Pascal Siakam, Keontae George, Jalen Johnson, Norm Powell, Paolo Banchero, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram,
Hold
Zion
on.
Williams. Which one? Oh yeah, I was kind of sped up there because, but
Norm Powell. No, I think I would have been
you,
maybe Norm Powell, but
so yeah, so that's tough actually, just
because
because
he
like if you
averages more points per game. But I feel
yeah,
like
beginning of the season, I would have I probably would have said Bam, probably.
yeah.
Yeah, so that is a tough
But
one for sure.
continue with that
Yeah,
list.
so
That's
after
my
Norm, it
first
was
maybe.
okay. Yes, I thought you were gonna thumb me Kente George actually, but after that, yeah. So after
I don't know.
Paolo,
The Jazz is
yeah,
anything can
exactly.
happen in Utah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Okay, so Paolo Banchero, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram. I'm gonna stop. I'd stop at Trey Murphy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know we both
yeah.
like Trey Murphy, but
I would
22 game.
definitely
Yeah,
stop the
22
trend.
game though. Yeah, higher than I thought. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Shadon Sharp, Julius
Bam.
Randle, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, probably. Julius Randle, Dylan Brooks, Brandon Miller, Desmond Bain, Alperen Şengün, Cooper Flag, Karl Anthony Towns, Nikhil Alexander Walker, him for
Him.
sure. Bam is 35th in points per game.
Oh, is that what you were doing? Sorry, I didn't even think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. After that, so Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that's a wash, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that I'd probably take Jackson as a scorer, but that's close. Then after that, LaMelo, Concanoble, De'Aaron Fox, Jeremy Grant, Scotty Barnes, CJ McCollum. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say 50, but definitely more than 35 that we listed off for sure. So, and I'm sure there's other players that I'm missing. Absolutely. So, like, I didn't even include, yeah, like LeBron isn't even there because he's missed so much time. But yeah, I definitely would have said LeBron's more likely to, even though he's old. But um, actually, yeah, I feel like I should check that. Like, I'm not going to check that now, but I feel like I might check eventually. I know it's a large sample size, so I doubt that his points per game jumped that much. Like I don't know if it jumped more than 2 points, but yeah, like he was 35th heading into he's 35th now. I wonder how low he was before that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I guess the one other extra thing we'll talk about here is the talk about it being unethical. So Bam had 31 points in the first quarter. I don't know how much he had at halftime. I had to check that. Yeah, it was I think it was 43 at halftime, I want to say. Um and then after that, in the fourth quarter with like 9 minutes left or something like that, both sides really made sure, okay, I shouldn't say both sides, but definitely the Heat made sure that the Bam wasn't gonna get there. You know, they were missing free throws on purpose, they were fouling the Wizards on the other end and just really making sure that Bam was going to get that 83 points, and he did with a minute and a half left. So, and then like I think no matter what would have happened, Bam would have gotten criticized for it. You know, like if like it was a close game and Bam scored 83 to beat them, it would have turned into how the hell did it take Bam scoring 83 points for them to beat the Wizards? If it was if the Heat had been a team like the Thunder, it would have been the Thunder are like they've already clinched the first first seed, like no one's even trying. Why is Bam trying so hard in this sense? So I think no matter what would have happened, Bam would have gotten criticized for this. I just think the idea that this happened, him scoring the 83 points, while the Heat going all out doesn't really help his case. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm sure you have a similar feeling, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every high scoring, and granted, this is a like this is on a bigger scale, but I feel like
Right.
every high scoring game, like high, I mean, like in the 70s and 80s, there is a little unethicalness to it.
Yeah.
Um, like Devin Booker when he scored 70 on the Celtics in what was that, 2018? Um,
2017, right?
maybe yeah, maybe even longer ago.
Yeah. Mhm.
They were fouling and they were calling timeouts when the Suns were down 20. Obviously Bam took 43 free throws. And Mitchell, I think when he scored 70, took over 20 free throws as well. Like so every you could like draw an asterisk on every single game like this. But like you said, Chris, I don't really care. I think it's pretty cool that a player scored 83 points in the league today. Granted, it was on 43 free throws, but I mean, it did seem like they were hacking him a lot. If I'm being honest, I don't like how the Heat were fouling the Wizards when they
Yeah.
were up big. That was really my only gripe with it.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I think it's cool. There was always like you. I feel like there's not an ethical way to score 83 points in the natural flow of the game
Yeah, for sure.
today. I don't know if that's a bad take or if there's not.
No, that's not a bad take. Yeah, like I don't know the maximum points that someone can score. Yeah, maybe that'd be a discussion for a different day. The maximum points that someone could score while being pure hoops, like maybe over like yeah, like I think Steph scored over 62 with pretty limited free throws in 2021. I want to say. I think Dame did the same thing. So yeah, like unless it's like a elite 3-point shooter, like a Steph, like a Harden, like a Dame. I know the okay. I don't know how many. Like, I know that Jokic had the 60-point triple double last year. Yeah, I don't know if you can look that up. How many? Actually, probably, like how many free throws he took that game. But yeah, I don't know. Just at the end of the day, yeah, like the biggest like the biggest thing obviously is people wonder, will anyone ever get to Wilt's 100 points, and which yeah, which I wish that Tony yeah, Sports Fluent is here to defend his name. His whole like one of his big things is that he doesn't believe that Wilt scored 100 points, and he wants to partake in the one fan versus 10 haters, where he wants to be the one Wilt Chamberlain skeptic of the 100 points, and everyone else would be the one fighting him on that. So but I think if anything, this game proved that the Wilt Chamberlain game 100% actually happens, because he did it in the least cool way possible, to where um it wasn't like it was a competitive game, and they were just it was like the goal of the game wasn't for both teams to win. It was for Will to score 100 points, like when he had a bunch, and then it was him cherry picking. It was them fouling. It was both teams fouling. So the Will Chamberlain game 100% happened, and I think that I think that this game kind of proves it. I kind of put you on the spot there to look at the Jokic game. Did you find it yet? It's
He
fine
had
if you didn't.
24 free throws.
Okay, 24. Okay, yeah, that is a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but
I think that just kind of like proves my point further that like but like you said, Chris, the Wilt game, like I know it's like the new thing is to say it didn't happen, but I think that I agree with you that it this kind of shows that it did happen, and I think that it shows that in the future, I think this record will be broken. I mean, there are a couple unbreakable sports records, like how many wins Cy Young has, and I don't know if there's any unbreakable NBA records. Um, are there any? Maybe like the John Stockton steal record, or who's what's the is
John
it
Stockton
assist
has
record?
so he has both the steals and assist record. I'm pretty sure the steals record is the one that's more unbreakable, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely a couple, but I think 100 points a game. I think eventually that will be done again.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And yeah, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, baseball has the more unbreakable records now because of the way the game's played. Like Cy Young has over 500 wins. No one's gonna even get to 300 now. We've had that discussion before, to where Yeah, we've argued about Babe Ruth being the GOAT. So I think the thing that radicalized me the most is I think that Young averages three or four strikeouts per 9 innings. So yeah, it's just a completely different sport being played. I feel like that's pretty similar with basketball. You don't see these explosion these you do see the explosion games for sure. But yeah, they didn't happen as often. Really, only Will Chamberlain was the one doing that. But yeah, it'll be fun to see which one happens next. Yeah, my prediction's Luca, but it wouldn't surprise me to see if anyone else had like one of these big scoring games. Maybe Shea does it as well. But I think Shea's a great volume scorer, but his thing is definitely more offensive efficiency as far as it goes for scoring and limiting turnovers for sure.
Yeah, I would
So
say Shea. I was gonna bring up Shea, but I feel like he's more of like a consistent 30. Like his
yes,
big scoring nights. Like Luca has these big scoring nights where he gets to 60. I don't know what
yeah.
Shea's career high is, but I feel like it's more common with Luca.
Didn't he have like I think he scored like 50 last year when that wasn't that like his career high? I feel like
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
feel like it's.
I might be making that up, but
I'll
yeah,
look it up right now.
I know it's not high. So um
55.
so 55?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
15 assists that game.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So anyway,
Oh, never mind.
um
Different game.
oh, don't forget. Okay. So anyway, so the next topic we're going to talk about is Jayson Tatum made his return last Friday night, so that was six nights ago, and he's played 2 games. One of them being on Friday night against the Mavs, the other one being Sunday. Sorry, 3 games. No, not 2 games. Yeah, so 3 games. The other one being Sunday against the Cavs, and the third one being Tuesday against the Spurs. They are 2-1 in those games. With Tuesday night being kind of a I don't want to say heartbreaker, but it was definitely like an annoying loss for sure because they were without Jaylen Brown for most of the game. I think he only played like 11 minutes or something like that. So um as far as it goes for Tatum, yeah, I've kind of been the one to give my opinion first. So Matt, what's your take on what Tatum has looked like so far?
So I think that I expect like he's playing better than I expected, but it doesn't really shock me. I mean, I don't know if you didn't read off his stats, but it's 19.7, 6.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, a steal. And his efficiency is really what is the reason why I haven't said he's been playing amazing. He's shooting 39% from the field, 29 from three, and 86 from the free throw line. He's kind of on a minutes restriction. He's only playing 27 minutes a game. I think he's played 27 exactly in all 3 games. Um, but I think it's like not just about the counting stats with Tatum. I think the more important thing is how much better he makes everybody. And like you even saw it in the Mavs game, like his gravity on the court, like the first game that he's played since May of last year, and he's getting double teamed and stuff like that. Um, I think it's going to, people bring up like, oh, he's coming into Jaylen Brown's team, or Jaylen Brown has to adjust to playing with Jayson Tatum again, which by the way is just BS anyway because they played together for 9 years. But just I think Brown and Derek White are going to benefit the most from this. Jaylen Brown has been doing this since the All Star break, but in the last 3 games, he's averaging 7.3 assists, and in those games, Boston players are shooting 58% off of those assists, or off of Brown's passes in that span. I think that directly is correlated to Tatum being on the floor and Brown making a move, and somebody has to step up and somebody being wide open because you have to worry about Jayson Tatum again now. So I think that's like the biggest thing. Also, his defense has I feel like Tatum's defense is super underrated. I feel like we always talk about it on this pod, but it kind of gets overlooked because he's such a great offensive player. But especially in that Cavs game, he had one possession where he switched on to Mitchell and stuck with him for a while and made him take a tough shot at the end of the shot clock. It's just stuff like that that is just kind of inspiring to other guys, and it's very cool to see. But I kind of rambled on there for a minute. But I'm very thrilled with how he is playing. He does look a little rusty, but I mean that's kind of expected. I think the jump shots will start falling soon, and the counting stats will be up to where they're used to be.
Yeah, I'd say he's been just about as good as I expected him to be, if not a little bit better. We knew that he was going to be pretty brutal from his jumper standpoint. Like I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't know how good his jumper is ever going to be again. Given that like his jumper was already on a decline last year. Or not so much. It was more so like that, like 4 or 5 month span that he went on that like cold streak. Like, was it 4 or 5 months? But like, yeah, I know it was definitely during the 2024 playoffs that his jumper was off, and then he had like a few month stretch where he was down below as well. So, um, I'm not really, yeah, I don't really know what to look forward to as far as it goes for Tatum's jump shot. But that being said, I knew that it would be a little rusty to start. Um, but other than that, he's looked good. So like the only thing you could like pinpoint like a couple things saying like, oh yeah, well he's like, I'm not really confident in like his jumper, like he's kind of like off balance and on certain things. He's like looking to like find his stuff, but go ahead, see it. He's moving well. Like he's like he's like, getting to the hole at like an okay rate, like not as good as he usually is, but he's looked good. Like yeah, like talking strictly eye test wise, he's looked like an NBA player, and he's looked like he doesn't look like a top five player, but he's looked like a player that can play winning basketball right now. That's what the Celtics need to be. They don't need him to be 2025 Jayson Tatum. They don't need him to be 2022 Jayson Tatum, which I know some people say was his best, probably his best scoring best, but um I think that mm, yeah, like I think at the end of the day, Tatum will get better as time goes on. I don't know, yeah, like I don't know what version of Tatum we'll see for the rest of the season. I'm actually, yeah, like, I'm still wondering that, and we'll talk about this during our contenders versus pretenders session for sure. But I'm just wondering, Matt, if you, I guess like it's kind of like a two-part question. So one of them being which version of, yeah, so how good do you think Tatum can be by the end of the season, and which team in the East would give Tatum the toughest time based on what we've seen so far?
I think Tatum can be. See, the thing is, like, do you think he's ever going to be back to 100% Tatum, Chris?
I think he will be, yes.
So I think he was going to be, if not at 100% at the end of this, at the come playoff time. I think he'll be close to it. I think he'll be over 90% Jayson Tatum by the time the playoff starts. I think it's, people saying, oh, he rushed back, which I don't know. Like it definitely was an anomaly that he came back this quickly, but I think it's better that he didn't come back right before the playoffs, if that makes sense. Kind of get his feet under him.
Mhm.
He's got a couple. I guess he's got a couple weeks now, not a couple months at this point. Before playoffs start.
April, I think April 18th is the first day of the playoffs.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's got a couple weeks to get his feet under him. So I think he'll be pretty close to Jason Tatum of last year. I have to see a little bit more. I mean, a 3 game sample size isn't the biggest, but I mean, what is that, 6 weeks or 5 weeks until playoff starts? I think that's more
That's
than enough
probably
time
right.
for
Yeah.
him to get his feet under him. And what team's going to give him the hardest matchup?
Probably, yeah, yeah, like,
Yeah,
yeah. Most specifically in the East, because yeah, the West, I feel like there's like 3 or 4 teams in the West that would probably give the tougher time than any team in the East. I guess probably.
I guess. I think the Pistons are the Celtics' biggest problem right now, but I think they would be a better matchup for Tatum than the Knicks would be. I think the
Mm,
Knicks was kind of constructed last year to beat the Celtics,
right.
which it ended up working out for them.
Mhm.
They have a lot of long athletic wings in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Mo Diarra, who's the rookie this year that has been a very very pleasant surprise for the Knicks. Very athletic wing defender. I think the Knicks would be the hardest matchup for him just because they can throw a bunch of different looks at him, um, and I mean it worked for them last year. So
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, yeah, the Knicks are tough just because yeah, like they do match up super well with the Celtics, and I'm not going to dive too deep into this. Mainly, just yeah, like I'm mostly going to focus on the Celtics aspect of it because I didn't want to take up the portion for the pretenders versus contenders aspect of it. Um, so the thing that I'm interested to see, so because like on the as far as it goes for the Knicks on offense, last year they had Tatum guard Cats and then Porzingis guarding Hart because like that's what most teams have done lately. Like, it was last year too, but like mostly this year they're having the centers guard Josh Hart because he's easily the weakest offensive player on the team, and if I'm not mistaken, Matt, yeah, you have more Nick fans friends that I talk to. I feel like Josh Hart has probably been a step below offensively from what he's been. I could be wrong though.
Josh
Or am I
Hart has
thinking of?
been. It's kind of like the rest of the Knicks team. He's been very good at times and very bad at times. It's
Mm,
just the inconsistency of this Knicks team is what has been bothering a lot of Knicks fans that I've been talking to. He's
mhm.
averaging, like, counting stats wise, he's averaging 2 less points than last year. But again, he's like a little, like, 3% less efficiency, but he's also playing 8 less minutes.
Something
Um,
it's okay.
yeah, I think it's just,
I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
he
coaching
was
there
also
for
hurt
sure.
for a little bit. He didn't start a couple games.
Yeah, he didn't start for. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mitchell was starting for a few games there. So
Yeah, so it's I think it's just more of a new system, and I think it was them getting used to it.
mhm,
But there's definitely been some frustration with Josh Hart from Knick fans, but I don't
mhm.
think he's playing as bad as um they're saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm yeah. So what I'm thinking is that I don't know if
Wow.
they can do it. Yeah, I don't know if they can do what they breaking
He's
news or
shooting 38% from three this year compared to 33 last year.
okay. That's a yeah, that's an improvement. So last year they had Porzingis and Horford guard Hearts, while Tatum guarded Cats, Drew guarded Brunson. I think, and I'm pretty sure that D White guarded McHale and Jalen guarded OG. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, like obviously there's adjustments here and there, but this year would be yeah, like I think the Knicks are worse in their own way, and I think the Celtics are a little worse, obviously, given what they have. So, but I don't know if they could do what they do. Namasked has been awesome this year. I don't think I'd want him guarding Josh Hart. I feel like Josh Hart would take advantage of the athleticism there. I also don't want Tatum guarding Cats. He's not as unless we see a month for I guess 2 months from now probably because it would be like the beginning of May that they'd be playing them in the second round probably. Tatum, like yeah, like his lower body obviously is not as strong as it was back then. So I'm assuming you'd have D White guarding Brunson instead of Drew Holiday. I feel like that part's pretty exciting, even though Drew was like bigger. I think that D White's gonna be able to keep up with him a little more. Yeah, like that definitely gives them the I would but like but I don't know if they give them a harder time on offense more than the Cavs because obviously yeah, Brunson and Mitchell are washed. We've had our disagreements on that for sure, but yeah, Mitchell has been the better player this year. So, yeah, like I'm assuming D White would guard either of them, and then the Cavs would go double big. So Tatum would likely have to guard one of Mobley or Allen. I'm assuming that he would guard Allen and then Kata would guard Mobley because again, like I don't know how much we want Tatum guarding like the athletic yeah, because Mobley's actually one of the guys that gives Tatum a tougher time even when healthy. Like he's kind of similar to AD and someone and like yeah, there's someone else that usually gave him a hard time. Like those stretch wings, like bigger ones usually give him
But yeah,
sometimes. And yeah, the Cavs have two elite shot creators in Harden and Mitchell. So yeah, the Pistons are yeah. I guess the last one I'll talk about is the Pistons. Yeah, again, this is only the Celtics aspect of it. I think on offense, I think defensively, the Celtics again they might would be sorry the Celtics playing defense, Pistons playing offense. I think that would be the best option for the Celtics. But however, the Pistons are easily the best defensive team out of those three. So that's where Joe Mazzulla would have to get creative there, and there I trust him there for sure. But yeah, we have
yeah, the
another month.
Pistons defense scares me a little bit, and
Yeah,
especially in a playoff environment. They got a lot of guys that can really defend on that team, and they're playing really well together. They're about to be what 40. They're up big right now. I think that would make them 47-18.
mhm. Yeah,
And that's a legit contender, Chris.
that is. So, yeah, we'll dive into that right now. So yeah, we'll do the East first. So yeah, we kind of talked about each team, and we don't have to go fast, even though, yeah, we have plenty of time. We also don't have to we don't have to yabber on too much because while I do agree with you that the Pistons defense does scare me, their offense scares me in the opposite way. I don't know how far this Pistons offense can go. I haven't checked as of late, but I do know that their offense has struggled against elite defenses all year long. So I love Cade Cunningham. He's been a top 10 player in the league this year. A lot of people are like some people put him in MVP discussions. I think that's a little much, but but at the end of the day, Cade Cunningham is really their only elite shot creator. They do have some, yeah, they have great shooting. They have one of the, I think they have I don't know where they are defensive rating wise, but definitely I think probably the second best defense in the league outside of the Thunder. So yeah, they great defenses can bring you far somewhere, but I do worry about a limited offense, especially for a team with limited playoff experience. They went bang for bang with the Knicks last year. I think game 6 was when um wasn't game 6. It was I think both games 5 and 6 it came down to the wire. So definitely something that like they are battle tested in that sense, but I am a little worried that their offense isn't going to be as efficient enough or as like creative enough against like solid defenses. Which like I'm not saying that they would lose like the Magic or anything, but or whoever the AC would be, even like the Heat. Like I don't think Eric Spoelstra is like that clever enough to where he could like totally outsmart a team that's clearly inferior, in talent wise. So, um, I'm not fully out on the Pistons, but I do think that a second round exit is very much on the table.
Yeah, Chris, I don't think that's crazy to say. Um, I feel like I've kind of said this a lot on the pod, so if I'm repeating myself, sorry. But you said it, Chris. It's tough to win when you only have one true shot creator
Yeah.
scorer on your team in Cade Cunningham. Because last year they kind of ran into this issue too, where it was Cade's first time in the playoffs, so I think he will be better than this year. But he averaged over 5 turnovers last year. If that happens again, I mean, they're definitely going to be a second round exit. And their shooting really, really scares me. Like even if they're not creating shots, they do have a couple good shooters in Cade and excuse me, in Duncan Robinson. But for the league, for their entire team, they're 27th in 3 point attempts this year. They're 22nd in 3 point percentage at 34.5%. Um, and I think, we've seen it year after year. Like you need 3 point shooting in the playoffs. You need more than one guy to be an elite 3 point shooter. Granted, I mean they are first in 2 pointers made and 2 pointer and third in 2 pointers attempted this year. So they will beat you up inside, and their identity has been defense. And their successful teams in the past, like we mentioned the '04 Pistons and the was it what teams went back 88 and I mean 89 and
89 and 90.
89 and 90. Those guys, the bad boy Pistons, were defensive focused as well. So maybe that's just their style of play, but I think it is a different game today, and I think you do need a little more offensive superpower with the Pistons. Um, so I don't think they'll win the finals this year. However, I do think they could win the East.
I think they could win these two. So if you
And I know
don't,
that's kind of a lame take. It's
no,
kind of not a hot take, but that's like what I believe. I
yeah,
mean, I think they're a good team, but I think they are an extra guy away.
yeah. If you were to, yeah, if you were to ask me for a hot take, I would say the Pistons have a better chance at which yeah, I think I will say now. Actually, I think the Pistons have a better shot at losing in the second round than they do at making the finals. But that's I don't think it's as bold to take. Bold to take would be they have a better chance at losing second round than whatever. But so this is since All-Star break, the Pistons are 13th in offense. So that's a little worse than I thought actually. And then they are why are they so oh, they're only 11th in defense. So they're 6-5 in their last 11. So that's yeah, I didn't realize how alarming that was. But I also know that I'm pretty sure Swipa from Players Choice said that he's not counting out the Celtics grabbing the first spot. But I think that was before the Spurs game because it's a 3.5 games. It would take a big time piston slip in order for them to lose that first seed. So yeah, again, since All-Star break, they've been an average team, but that's only 11 games. But either way, be interested to see what happens. But yeah, but net rating wise, I believe the Pistons would be 11th. So yeah, they've been a fine team. I don't say average, but like they've been in between good and average. Definitely not as poor as what they were in the beginning of the year. But yeah, I guess we'll move on now to the Cavs. We already talked about the Knicks a ton, so we don't have to talk about them a ton. The Cavs since the Ulster break, they're a little bit lower than I thought. Or am I missing them completely? The hell are they? Great podcasting by me, but yeah, they're 13th in net rating. I wonder why that's so low. Again, they're also 6-5. I guess they're missing Harden for one of those games, so they are 16th in defense and 11th in offense. So yeah, they're a little worse than I thought they were since the All-Star break. But yeah, I think that has to do with the fact that both Harden and Mitchell either missed some time or are still shaken up. Again, like every single team in the East has a fatal flaw. In the Cavs, I feel like, and I hate saying this because yeah, like I hate like targeting one player, but I think their biggest fatal flaw is James Harden, and I know that James Harden is an upgrade from Darius Garland for sure. I'm not saying otherwise. He's a much better defensive player. He's a better playmaker, in my opinion, better scorer. So he's an upgrade in every single way, except for the fact that every single time that we've seen, I don't want to say every single time, but like each most times that we see James Harden in an elimination game, he just completely falls apart. So the further you go into a series, which like the Cavs aren't a much better team than than the Celtics, the Pistons, or the Knicks. So I'm not counting it out because I do think that Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Kenny Atkinson is an absolutely elite foundation for a team that can win a championship. But I hesitate for any single James Harden team to go on a far playoff run.
Yeah, Chris, I agree. I think it was important for them to get rid of Darius Garland and just not really like start new because they're not really starting new. But
Mhm,
I mean, if let's say they lose in the second round again this year, where do you go from there? Because clearly this core wouldn't be working again.
mhm.
So and it's very easy for me to say this. It's kind of like a lame take by me, but I need to see it to believe it with this Cavs team. I feel like there are a lot of question marks. I mean, James Harden, what he broke his
It was
what he
his
break
finger, like
his
yeah,
finger, and he's just playing through it like that. That's a concern.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm a little worried about that, and it's always tough to. It's always tough to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. It's always tough to contend. I feel like when you get somebody at the deadline that's like
Absolutely.
supposed to be a
Yeah.
number two option. Um, so I don't know. I don't really see it with the Cavs. I know you're higher than me
Mhm.
on them than me. So I think the Cavs are pretenders.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I think I think the Cavs have a slightly higher ceiling than the Pistons because of their just because just because of overall experience. I also think that Mitchell is better than Cade in my opinion. But yeah, they lost to the Magic by 6 yesterday. Yeah, D Mitch had 25, 5 and 5, 25, 5 and 5. Harden had 35 and 8. Keon Ellis had 20 himself, but
I was
yeah,
gonna bring up Keon Ellis.
yeah.
His net rating on the Cavs on the floor is plus 10.4.
No, it's yeah, that's all.
It's very
How
good.
long has Jared Allen been out for? Has that been a re-going issue, or is that just a short-term thing? Second, Jared Allen.
He was playing against the Knicks.
Okay, so he's missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, a couple of games
Bef
ago.
yeah, so before that playing, yeah, he must have gotten hurt during the Pistons game, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you mentioned like what would the Cavs do after this year? I guess the next step would be getting rid of Allen because I don't think you should trade Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley. Like, yeah, like I know some people. I know the easy thing to do is, or the easy take to say is, oh, you got to trade your best player and just completely blow it up. But I think that Donovan Mitchell is a top 10 player in the league. I think that Evan Mobley has a top 5 ceiling. So like, which by the way, Evan Mobley didn't have 18 and 8 yesterday. He had 18 and 13. So shut up, Nick fans. But
You think
um,
Evan Mobley has a top five ceiling?
definitely top 10. I think that, yeah, like I guess maybe not top 5 because he's not a good enough scorer, but I think he's already a top 5 defender in the league. Um, so yeah, top 5 maybe pushing it, but 100% top 10. Like I had him top 15 going into the season. It's probably like closer to
He's
slightly
only.
outside the top 20 now. But
I just looked up his age. He's only 24. Like he's not.
yeah,
He's still very
so
young.
yeah, so
I will say I do like the Cavs. I feel like the Cavs' issue in the past has been their depth in the playoffs. I
right,
do
yeah,
like
that's
their
fair too.
depth better this year than previous years.
100%.
I do like Jalen Tyson. I do like Keon Ellis, like we mentioned him.
Sure.
But it does
Yeah,
come down to the big guys. It does come down to Donovan Mitchell and James Harden,
absolutely.
and Evan Mobley.
Mhm,
What versions of them are you getting in the postseason?
absolutely. So let's include the Celtics in this because, like, yeah, I think the top 4 teams are the ones that can realistically come out of the East. I guess there's one more. Okay, who's 5th in the East as of right now? I believe it is the so the
The
Magic are
Toronto.
5th.
No.
No, the Magic. So yeah, Toronto's seventh. Yeah, so Magic fifth, Miami sixth. They've won six in a row now. Toronto seventh and Philly eight. Um, I guess yeah. So I'm gonna rank teams most likely to come out of the East. So I'm gonna look at this objectively. You know what? I might be accused of being either might be getting accused of either the reverse jinx or being reverse the guy who tries to be who tries too hard to be unbiased that he turns out to be too biased towards his own team. Um, but I'm gonna go with Knicks one, Celtics two, Cavs three, Pistons four.
Okay. I'm gonna go. You know what? Just because John isn't here, I'll take the super biased approach that he usually takes. I'm gonna have Celtics one just because of their ceiling and their experience. Um, and I do think last year really bothered them a lot. Um, Maybe
Tell me
not as
about
much as it bothered us, but it did
it.
definitely does bug them a lot. I will have the Knicks at two. I think it's very close between the Knicks and the Celtics, who comes out of the East. Just both teams are built very well. Um, Both deep teams and both have the stars that can take over a single game. The Knicks, their defense has been elite recently, but in a playoff setting, your rotation shrinks a little bit. Who's going to get a
Mhm.
ton of minutes?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be fully healthy? The Mitchell Robinson piece always scares me a little bit with
Mhm.
his health concerns. Three, I'm going to have the Pistons. I mean, like I said, they're going to be 47-18 after today. They're an elite team, an elite defense. Their offense does concern me. That's why I have them at three, and their experience concerns me. Um, Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they will come out of the East. I do think it's very, very possible. I would have the Cavs at four, and I think very solidly four, in my opinion. I think the top three teams are a tier above the Cavs.
Fair enough. So yeah, we'll go out west now because I don't think any other team in the East is really serious. I know that our guy Jay Roebuck earlier had the Sixers have a good chance, um which which like if you really think about it, like they could hypothetically, but I just think track record over and over again shows you can't trust that team. But we'll go out west now. So we can skip over the Thunder. We know that they're contenders. They're reigning champs and at moments look better than they were last year. Obviously, past couple months they haven't, but like they're 9-1 in their last 10. So I think they're back to being what they once were before. So after that, we have the Spurs are number two, and they're solidly number two. They're 2.5 games behind the Thunder and 8 games above the Rockets, who are third. The Rockets and the Lakers are tied for third and fourth. So um so the Spurs. So I'm gonna say that they're 48-17. So yeah, like as much as people can say like, oh, they're too young, like yeah, like I'm gonna call them pretenders. I just think they're too good. Like talent, both talent wise and just like how dominant they've been this year to be anything but contenders. I do understand saying like, okay, the Spurs haven't made the playoffs; they need one more year to settle in. But like I might be all on this team. I think this team can absolutely make conference finals and can give the Thunder a run for their money for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I definitely think they're contenders. I mean, they have a top. I don't know what talent in the league right now. Like, what do you have Wemby as talent wise in the league? Like, obviously, I don't think he's in top five conversations yet because he doesn't have the
You don't?
playoff.
Okay,
Sorry, he's top
okay,
five
because okay,
conversations. I
okay,
don't
yeah,
think
got it.
he's not top five on my list because he doesn't have the
Fair
playoff
enough. Yeah,
resume that everyone else in the top five has. I
right.
think that changes this year. I think going into next year, he's in a little more uncomfortable combos
Yeah,
that we would probably laugh at until he changes it again. Um, but I even think take Wemby out of the picture. I think this team is still a very, very good team. Um, they're
right.
built very well. They're very young. I think an underrated part is they have a lot of good locker room guys. Harrison Barnes apparently is like an awesome teammate. I didn't realize he's kind of like an Iron Man in the league.
It is. Yeah.
He played like 200 straight games.
Mhm.
Keldon Johnson was supposed to be like this like unbelievable stud coming into the NBA, and he's taken a backseat so that so the Spurs could be a better team. He's apparently a great teammate. Luke Cornett, we know, is the man. He's an
Definitely.
awesome, awesome backup center. I mean, Wemby sits off for a couple minutes. You think you get a break on offense, and you have Luke Cornett as the roamer on defense, and he's an elite defender. People don't give him
Oh
enough
yeah,
credit for that.
not
Um,
enough. Yeah,
but I am Chris. I'm very very all in on the Spurs team. I didn't even mention Stephon Castle or
right.
anyone like that. Dylan Harper has been very good this year. Devin
Hmm.
Vassell's a stud. They have a St. John's legend on the team in Julian Champagny, Mr.
Right.
82 last year.
Mhm.
Um, I just really like their team. I really, really like their team. I like how they're built from top to bottom, and their ceiling is very, very high. I think they can beat the Thunder this year.
Couldn't agree more. So we're not going to go through each of these teams, but I'm going to go 3 through 6. I'm going to say so: the Rockets, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. We'll do the same thing as we did for the East and just rank these teams 3 through 6. We don't need to because I want to do one more thing after this. But so the Rockets, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. So I'm struggling because as easy as I would say beginning of the year, I'm like, oh, Nuggets are third without a doubt. Like they have Jokic and Jamal Murray are awesome. They have great chemistry and everything. They have struggled since the All Star break, man. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Cam Johnson is looking not nearly who they want him to be. They want him to be that great glue guy, which Michael Porter Jr. really wasn't, and MPJ is having a career year as the number one option. So I think part of it has to do with the fact that Aaron Gordon missed so much time. But yeah, I still trust the Nuggets as much as anyone else in the West because of Jokic. But I don't know. And the other thing, so I said, okay, Nuggets 1, Timberwolves would be 2 then. But the thing is, they're 40-26, and they've lost their last 3, which it's not bad. 40-26 is a very good, is a solid record, but that it looks less impressive when they've been the most healthy team in the league this year. So that's what concerns me a little bit is the fact that, which maybe that's a good thing too. They're saying, look, okay, yeah, we've been healthy all year long. We've been taking care of ourselves. So that could be a positive, but they haven't faced much adversity this year, and they're only the 6th seed, which I know they made the conference finals last year as the 6th seed, but and they still could absolutely win as the 6th seed. Don't get me wrong, but so yeah, like I'm skeptical, but I'll put the Nuggets 3, the Wolves 4, I'll put the Rockets 5, and I'll put the Lakers 6.
So sorry, say that again. You have Nuggets, Wolves,
I have the Rockets ahead of the Lakers then.
Rockets, Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm very, very close to you on that. I have Wolves, Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers.
Yeah.
Reason I have the Wolves slightly ahead of the Nuggets is just because of the injury concerns.
Right.
Christian Brown has been playing way way better as of late, but when he came back from injury, I think they rushed him back a little bit. He busted up his ankle pretty bad at the beginning of the year. Maybe it was in the offseason, I forget, but he missed a lot of time. He came back and was really a shell of himself. He had a pretty good game tonight, but I'm worried about Aaron Gordon. He's like, I mean, he's the third most important player, obviously behind Jokic and Murray. But I think, in terms of obviously Murray's a better player. In terms of value, I think Aaron Gordon is right up there with him. In
Absolutely.
terms of value and importance to this Nuggets team, he needs to get healthy. He was out again tonight. I don't know if that's just like injury, like load management type deal, but he has to get healthy. And Christian Brown has to play better, and Peyton Watson's missing some time too. So all these injuries concern me. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
rambling here.
No, no
But
worries. Yeah.
Timberwolves I have as one. I'm always higher in the Timberwolves than you are, Chris. I like their roster.
I
However,
was
they
I was high on them heading into the season, but
yeah.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
That wasn't
yeah.
a slight at
No, no, you're good.
not being
Yeah,
high on them. I'm saying for
yeah,
me, I'm always a little too high on them.
right.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
Yeah,
their problems that they had last year are just the same as this year.
right. Yeah,
They have Mike Conley back. Bones Highland's their backup point guard. They still don't have a true point guard. I mean, DiVincenzo kind of does that role. Um, I do like the Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels. That top four is very very good. However, they are missing a point guard, and their depth scares me a little bit. But they
mhm.
are. I mean, they prove it in the playoffs every year. They're a very good team. I mean,
They're very good. Yeah,
they punked the Lakers last year. Oh, and all right, let me go to the next team. The Rockets are 3. The huge gap between Nuggets and Rockets, in my opinion.
100%. Mhm.
I think the loss of Fred VanVleet at the beginning of the year is a huge blow, even though Reed Shepard has had a quietly very, very good year. The loss of Steven Adams has been insane too. Uh, the Rockets' whole deal was defense and chance points, and since Steven Adams has gotten hurt, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but their second chance points, just total shot attempts have gone down drastically because they aren't getting those offensive rebounds.
Mhm.
Then the Lakers, we've been shouting it from the mountaintops all year. This might be the most fraudulent 40-25 team of all time.
Absolutely. Yep.
I do not think they are it. I think they're another first round exit. I think there is a way higher chance that they lose in the first round than they win in the first round, in my opinion. I'm gonna, if I was a gambling man, I would bet on them losing the first series. I'm very, very out on the Lakers. A lot of injury concerns, no defense. Their top three guys can't defend. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll be eating my words in a couple of weeks, but I don't think so. I'm very confident the Lakers
Sure,
are
not, yeah.
Lakers are out.
Yeah. You know what would be hilarious actually? The Clippers are 33-32 now after starting off whatever it was. Like Jamal Christopher, I think his name is. He's the one that's been tracking Ty Lue's quotes. I think he said that he wanted to. Oh, geez, I'm losing it, but they start off horrible, and then he said like, "Oh, I want to finish the season like, finish the season this okay, I forgot the record. I'm really losing my train of thought. But like the Clippers have been looking very good, and like it's looking like a possibility. How funny would it be if the Clippers, they win they get past the playing tournaments. The Spurs, yeah, so they're the seventh seed. They get past the Spurs. The Spurs show vulnerability being a young team, so then they would have to play either the Rockets or the Timberwolves. If we're looking at the standings right now, let's say they would play the Rockets because I feel like that would be a team that they would match up with better because they're great on defense and the Rockets are not. So and then that would lead them to playing the Thunder, who I said last year the Clippers matched up really well with the Thunder because they have a bunch of guys that can just throw out Shea. And then they get to the finals and they play a young Pistons team and then just totally shove it down their throats. Kawhi retires. The Clippers, the Clippers get fined $1 billion, and then they're forced to sell the team. And then, but like at the end of the day, Clippers can say, "Hey, we won a championship." At the end of the day, I think that would be the funniest thing ever.
If the Clippers win the finals this year, that would be by far the funniest outcome of the season.
It would be the funniest thing ever. Like he gets Kawhi maybe thinking he's like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna get fined a boatload of money this year. Might even serve some jail time according to some people." And and they're like, I wonder if it would be like the 2017 Astros, but they say, "Oh, he cheated." Oh, he didn't cheat. Yes, he cheated, but who cares? Like this isn't a matter of like them cheating to where like I'm not. Don't even get me started. Even though, but anyway, Matt, I'm going to throw you a curveball right here. I know this is the end of our agenda, but I wanted to do one more game with you.
Okay.
Rather than 21 questions, we're going to play 10 questions.
Okay.
I have an NBA player in mind, and you are going to ask me 10 yes or no questions, and you're gonna answer, and you are going to answer them. You can guess it in the middle of it for sure, but by the end of
how many guesses do I get?
That's a great question.
That doesn't count as one of my questions, by the way.
Yeah, you. I'll give you 3.
Okay, cool. All right. Is he a current player?
He's not.
Okay, so historic player. Is he known for playing like his prime? Is he known for playing pre or post 1990?
Post
1990. Okay. Is he known for East or West?
East.
East. Okay. Is he an NBA champion?
He's an NBA champion.
Okay. Did he win the NBA championship in post 2000?
No.
Counting 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
He did not win post 2000, no.
So in the 90s he won.
Yes.
Okay. Is he a I'll ask, is he taller than 6'7"?
I believe he is. Yes. Yes, he definitely is. 100%.
Okay. So wing or center. So are you at 6 questions for me, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't count. Hmm. So 90s East. Those Pistons. Bulls. Rockets. Sorry, good podcast about me. Rockets. So 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Who won 99? Oh, Spurs. Okay. Did he play for the Chicago Bulls?
He did play for the Chicago Bulls.
Okay. Was he an all-star?
He was an all-star.
Okay. Is he a Hall of Famer?
He's very much a Hall of Famer.
Is it Scottie Pippen? Said say Scottie Pippen. All right.
Yes, yeah, there we go.
How about that?
Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, we've done games the past few weeks, and yeah, it would have felt weird not doing one. So yeah.
I'm a big fan of the games at the end. I like that.
We gotta keep that in. Whether it's a draft, whether it's trivia. Yeah. I figured this was a nice way to change it up. Maybe we'll do it next week with John too. Oh, speaking of next week, so this is the end of our show. But yeah, Matt, always a pleasure. But next week, will be the show will be on a Monday night. Shocking enough, which by the way, we're doing that because we're competing with Zach Lowe, who's also live on Monday night in Brooklyn. I was going to go to that, but then prices were $50, and then I checked up 2 weeks later, they were $150. I'm like, how the?
Whoa, really?
Oh, I didn't tell you that.
No, I feel bad. I think you were waiting on me for my response.
No, that wasn't you at all. No, I know absolutely not. No, I was hesitant as well. But no, it's good though because Monday nights we are doing our March Madness special. We very, very rarely talk college hoops here unless it's St. John's, but we'll be having our friend Timmy McEnany on. He's one of our favorite guests that we have on the show. We had him on 2 years ago when it was one of our first Tuesday night drafts or one of our first Tuesday night shows, and then we had him on last year on a Wednesday night. So it'll be interesting this year because it'll be on a Monday this year. So literally the day after bracketology. So yeah, we're gonna make our brackets like a little bit on the quicker side, but that's completely fine. We're very, very excited to have him on. And it'll be a great time. Might be going live next.
Always one of my favorite eps every year, the March Madness episode.
Easily, yeah. I'm not even a big college basketball guy, but it's still a great shop for sure. Might still be going live next Thursday. Depends on when St. John's is playing. If St. John's playing on Thursday, Thursday night, I should say, I likely won't be going live. I'd imagine I'll be going live alone because I'd imagine that everyone else is gonna be watching the games. But you know what? I'm like, I'll let you guys know. But I don't think I'm going live on Thursday. But definitely Monday night. Tune in Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, usual spots. So check me out on social media at All American Hooper on Instagram and on TikTok, at American Hooper on Twitter. Check me out on Wednesday nights on Fluent versus Chill versus Everyone. We didn't have a show last night, but we will be having a show next week for sure. And yeah, that's all about it. But we're very, very excited for the rest of the season. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a good night, everyone.